So we're going to go back now. See, the deal is here, this is now, these are now all individual shapes. So I need to select all of these. Yep, it's all selected. I need to right click on it again. I need to make a compound path. And now my really cool little design is done. And then I can go over and I can do my offset and just have a really good time with it. It's a lot of fun. You start trying things. One of the things I want to show you, let's see, is I have so many on here. I'm very bad about that. I was just going to town earlier. I thought I'm just going to save that whole thing and really confuse everybody. Yeah, what I want to show you is a way to make these sort of arms that are pointed out, because the way I originally saw to do it, I'm going to copy that. Oops, and I'm going to go over here, is to make a rectangle, use that rotate, do it 45 degrees, stick it in there, try to get another one. I'm like, I'm not that good. But what I can do to make this part is I can take a rectangle, and I'm going to make that, I don't know, what do I like? About that long. I'm just eyeballing it. I just want to, it can be thinner than your other line. Let me go back here. Let me go back here. Yep. Is it this one? No, it's this one. If you see this one, you see these pieces in here are thinner. One second, let me get this stuff out of the way. Click on my little mousey and come through. And you can also see, how these are not necessarily even, and I would probably take them out. If you can always fix them too. If you want them all to be bigger, you can release the compound path, make a triangle if you want this cut out in here, and copy it and move it around and do what you want to do. It's totally up to you, but you can see this is a little bit thinner, but it kind of gives a different, so it does a little bit different with the design. It really gives you something else to do. This is a triangle, and that's another thing I'll show you real quick. But let's go back into this. I'm going to color this so you can see it. I'm going to pick a dark color because it's just easier. Come in here. So I'm going to duplicate that because I want it to be the exact same width and length. Let's see. And now I'm going to take this one and go back to my panel here. Where am I going? Just because I find it easier to do. So the rotate part here, and I'm going to flip it up. And now this I'm going to eyeball. And actually, it can be helpful if these are not filled when you do this, because I'll show you why. I'm going to take the filling up, because it's really easy to see when they're not filled if these are lining up, so you don't wind up with something lumpy. And I can, using my arrow keys, I can just slowly but surely make it line up. And you see here, I don't know if you can see this line right here is thicker than this line. It means I don't have it quite all the way down. So if I select it one more time, now you can't tell the difference. And it's actually not here. I need to move this over. That's about right. I'm going to fill that back in so everybody can see it. We don't want the cut line there, so you see how we've cut that out right now. I'm going to weld that. Now I'm going to go back over here because I like to use this best. Go to my transform, and I want to turn it 45 degrees. And that's how you draw. one of these shapes. And then the thing to realize is, and this is where I learned, you notice how I didn't copy one of those rectangles when I started? It means I need to, and that's another, hold on, let me back up. I didn't copy it. And so if I want to make a smaller one, I can do a couple things. I can try to cut it off. I can do all that. If I had saved a piece of one of those rectangles, then I wouldn't have to worry about it being the same width. Does it have to be the same width? No, it does not. That's totally up to you. But if I wanted it that way, I can't just make this smaller, because if I do, it's going to make it thinner, which, if that's what you're after, is cool. But now you can see the line, the shape gets thinner and thinner as I go along. So that could also be pretty neat though. So, and you can put as many of them on there as you want. You can. And the thing here I want to show you is that this has a triangle at the top. How do you draw a triangle? Because if you look on your shapes, it doesn't appear. It's right here. It's this draw a regular polygon. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to draw something here. And what you see is that it draws a pentagon. That's okay. We can change that. Use it 5 sides. Can everybody see that? If I take this slider, say I want it to have 6 sides, that makes a really neat thing to put on top. If I want to make a triangle, oh look, I made a square. I can drop it down to 3. Here we go. It's a little large, but and then once you have the shape that you want, if I click back on it, it's all of this is going to come back up. I can go over here and I can say convert to path, and now it's permanently a triangle. It'll never change. I can't adjust it at all anymore. Oops. There you go. Double. My computer's slowing down. Saying you're doing an awful lot on here, lady. So, and then you can work with that however you want. And I'm going to go to here. Go out. Oh, a little too far. You can see here I used, this is before I even welded it. Hold on, I'll zoom in here a little bit so you can see some things. And I put another circle on it. Honestly, if I did this, I would go, you know what? I like it. It's coming along, but I'd really rather have something up here too. So that instead of having to start from scratch, I can go back to this design because I made a copy of it and saved it, and I can add anything I want to do on that, or I could take something off. One of the ones that I did originally had 3. Let's see. 3 bars on it instead of just the 2. Oh, computer says, oh, you're killing me. Come on. There we go. Should probably, oh, and of course, if you do, I used keystrokes, and so it just put it exactly where I had it on the other page, and a copy of it. Then I want to do this again with it. There we go. And let's see, all that weld up here. Yeah, and that's right back to where we had all those little pieces. And I wanted to start off with a simpler one, but you could make it as simple or complex as you want, and you can just go to town. Let's see. I thought this one came out pretty well. Um, if you can see the original shape is just that diagonal kind of the corner. I don't know what you call that. And it just and what this is what's nice about coloring those is you can see what it'll look like when you cut it out. Is that I have the light blue as the smallest piece, the white, and then the blue. And so because this white still has these shapes cut out of it, you'll see through to the blue. Let's see. Okay. Talked about the undo. The other last thing before we talk about other things is after you've let's see. Where have I got one? Here we go. Remember that if you say you moved all these pieces apart and okay, I'm going to cut these out, and you're like, no, I really want them smaller. Don't try to resize each one. I mean, you could go in here and do it this way. The easiest thing to do, because all the dimensions are going to be this is bigger than this is, next in line, and this is the smallest. This is why I highly recommend I'm going to center those back on each other, and I'm going to group them. Now I can resize this, all three pieces at the same time. And that whenever you have a file that has multiple pieces to it that need to fit with each other in a particular way, you want to resize them all at the same time. And if you get free files or you can buy files from the Silhouette Design Store or other places, it's a thing to keep in mind. Don't resize one thing without resizing everything at the same time, all selected, so that they all get bigger or smaller at the same time in the same way. Now I can take it apart and I can move it around my mat and cut it out.